Welcome everyone. We're going to demonstrate how to set up Google Drive for a student and teacher. One of the questions we get a lot is how to set up Google Drive so that students can turn in their work to a teacher or a class in this case, such that the student can turn their work in but they can't see everybody else's work. They can only see theirs, but the teacher can see all of the work within the class. So let's give you a quick little tour of the screen, kind of know where everything is, everybody get your bearings, and then we'll go through it. On the left hand side, we have a Google Chrome, and it's logged in as a student. So this is test student, and that's the one right here that's not in incognito mode. And on the right hand side, we have an incognito browser, and it's logged in as a teacher. So we're going to show you, and we're going to start with the teacher so I can kind of give you a tour through. And so let's go into Google Drive. You can see in Google Drive, mine might look a little different than yours. You may have more folders or different color scheme, or your school may have it set up a slightly different way. But in general, your Google Drive will be on the left here. And you can see under mine, for the teacher, we have a My Drive, and we have a class. And we have a setup here, and then we have a student. So Computer Science 203 Test Student. We always recommend that you do it by class, and then on this side, we'll show you how this gets set up by the student, but that you have some sort of student ID so that you know which student it is. And I'm going to walk you through how to create this, because what essentially you'll end up with is multiple folders underneath a class. So from the teacher side, let me show you how to create a folder. You just right click on My Drive and click New Folder. We suggest you just name it give it the name of your class. So let's go with AutoCAD. And we'll click Create. And you can name the folder whatever you'd like, it doesn't particularly matter. But this is all the teacher needs to do, just create the AutoCAD. A lot of times teachers want to have it with a classroom period. So maybe it's AutoCAD, period 3. Make it a little easier so that they line up. However you'd like to do it is fine. The interesting thing is the teacher as long as the teacher is part of the Google Classroom environment, the students will be able to find the teacher. So let me go over here and show you what the student looks like. On the student, let's go into the student's drive. And the student needs to create a folder in their drive, and we suggest that you instruct them to call it something that makes sense. Like create a folder, and they should also call it probably AutoCAD period 3. They can call it whatever they want, it doesn't particularly matter, but it sure helps if they name it correctly. And in here, if one of the things that might make it easier, let's hit rename, is if they put their student ID here. So let's type test student 1. So now they have a folder that's AutoCAD period 3 test student 1. You know who that is. And all they need to do, this folder is only accessible to them. So when they're doing their work, they're going to place their work in this folder. And then they're going to need to share this folder with you. What they need to do is come down here, right click on it, and click share. They just need to find your name as the teacher. So in this case, that's me. And it's going to notify the teacher that it has been shared. So it's going to hit send. And over here, let me go back here to the teacher side. And we're going to click on shared with me. And you see here it says AutoCAD period 3 test student 1. So now the student has access to their folder on their drive. And the teacher has access to their folder as well. But the next thing they need to do, as you can see, is it's not under My Drive yet. What the teacher was going to want to do is organize a few things. So what you want to do is right click on the folder when it gets shared with you and click Add Shortcut to Drive. And then you, as the teacher, get to pick and organize your folders any way you want. So in this case, I'm going to click, I want to add the shortcut to that shared drive to AutoCAD period 3. Add shortcut. And now we get that same folder that the student just shared with us, except now it's organized underneath the folder structure that the teacher would like it to be in. So let's create a quick file and show how this works in real life. So let's assume you have this set up and we're a student over here working on something. Let me just make a notepad real quick. We'll create a file and we're going to call it test file. And we'll just write some stuff in here. It doesn't particularly matter. We're going to save it. And for now, I'm just going to save it right to my desktop. It doesn't particularly matter. They can save it directly to Google Drive if they'd like. But for the sake of an example, here we go. So now we have that file. I'm going to go over to my desktop and get it. It's right here, and I'm going to drop it right in that folder. So now the student has a file inside their AutoCAD Period 3 Test Student folder. And over here, if we click here on the teacher side, you can see the teacher can also see that file. The teacher can actually open the file, look at it, they can download the file, they can edit the file, they can do whatever they need to depending on what kind of file it is. And there you go. So now you've been able to see how the student can have a file, share the folder with the teacher, and have the teacher be able to see everything in underneath one kind of organized file structure. What will end up happening is the teacher will have a file for every student, so it would be organized by period, by student, and they'll be able to see all the kids' folders organized in one place.